We brought you the breaking news right before the break. Jack Smith, special counsel.
We are coming on the air with major news in the special counsel's investigation.
Some news just into us right now with the special counsel, Jack Smith.
The message I just received said this is a big deal, and it pointed to a story that I'm now rushing to bring you about how the feds are dropping a new legal bombshell on Donald Trump. I will break it down for you through the lens of both TV journalism and some citizen journalists. First, the citizen journalists on X responded to the breaking news with these reactions. White Dude for Harris posted, Jack Smith is going to take care of Donald Trump for us. Raw Story said, not messing around. Experts praise smart Jack Smith for whittling down Trump case. And Lawrence Tribe posted, just the right move for DOJ to make in light of the SCOTUS immunity ruling, and just in time. No reason to delay. Full speed ahead. So what is Tribe, a lawyer, and the others referring to exactly? I'll have Jack Smith's latest move against Trump for you in just a minute. But first, here's the best summary of the implications that I found for you. And Donald Trump has to be rattled by what you're about to see.
Politically, I don't think this matters. I mean, Donald Trump has been convicted on 34 felony counts. He's been found civilly liable for what is tantamount to rape. And so I don't think one more trial, one more, indictment or whatever is going to move the needle politically. But what I do think this does is really just raise the stakes even more on the election. I mean, I think it's not crazy to say that if Donald Trump can either go to the White House or he can go to jail or at least have a good chance. I mean, he has to be, if he wasn't campaigning hard before this news, he has to be campaigning very hard now.
So they discussed the very real possibility of Trump going to jail. And I can hear you cheering out there. But what about the campaign implications? Does today's breakout news give Team Harris more fodder, or will it energize Trump's base? And then I'll bounce right back with the bombshell specifics.
Well, could motivate him, could motivate his supporters, too. I mean, we've seen that sometimes in the past with this kind of perverse political impact of some of these legal headlines, to your point, because the last time we were having these conversations, he was in a much better political position, right? I mean, he looked like he'd probably win. But now you start to wonder if Harris wins, to your point, are we having conversations about, Jerry Ford pardons, or are we having conversations about Donald Trump sentences? I mean, that's a more realistic question, right?
And I think if Kamala Harris is smart, and I think she is, she won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. I mean, She might mention it in passing, but I don't think the whole prosecutor versus the criminal thing is what's really going to win it for her. And I think she's been very shrewd about not doing what Joe Biden was doing. I think Kamala Harris has really kind of approached the campaign from a different perspective. Let other people talk about Donald Trump's criminal past, and Kamala Harris could focus on freedom and turning the page and change.
Today's breaking story is nicely summarized by an ABC News post that reads, Special Counsel Jack Smith has charged former President Trump in a superseding indictment, and here's their team of analysts with the top-line details for you.
Pierre, let's talk about how this new indictment is different from the original one, and why has Special Counsel taken this step?
Well, Kara, this is a new superseding indictment brought before a new grand jury in Washington. And what you see the special counsel doing here, he's trying to accommodate the recent Supreme Court ruling, which broadened the immunity of a sitting president. And in this case, what I'm told is that the charges will largely remain the same, but they've taken out some allegations, for example, that deal with the president dealing directly with members of his cabinet, including the Justice Department. Anything he said to them cannot be included in these charges, and the allegations and the evidence, that's been taken out. The other thing that's happening here is that they're making very clear in this indictment that these charges are being brought in connection with actions that former President Trump took as a candidate.
Former President Trump remains charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States, and over more than 36 pages. This new indictment says the purpose of that conspiracy, as alleged, was to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 election by using knowingly false claims of election fraud. It goes on to allege the same things that Trump was charged with doing as before, although, as Pierre notes, things he did as a private citizen, as a candidate, not as a sitting president of the United States. Jack Smith making it clear he's going to continue to try and go after former President Trump for past alleged misdeeds, even as Trump seeks the White House again, Kira.
And now that you're up to speed, I want to know what you think. Earlier, the News Nation analyst thought it would be wise for Harris just to stay on course and keep doing what she's doing because it's working. But you have to think the prosecutor in her will want to use this as evidence in the case against Donald Trump. Please put your campaign strategist hat on and leave us a comment below. Does Team Harris swing today's news like a hammer, or just keep gently poking Trump with his own words and missteps and allow him to dismantle himself piece by piece?